नमस्कार, मैं श्रीनिवास कोकुलनाथ नासिक भारत से हूँ। ये ओहायो रैम शो है, एंजॉय कीजिए। हाय, दिस इज श्रीनिवास जी फ्रॉम नासिक इंडिया एंड दिस इज ओहायो रैम शो। एंजॉय।
And thank you, Srini, for that introduction. It's very appropriate that you do introduce this particular show because this is the first of the All India month on the OhioRAAM show, and we'll have Srini on the show a little later in the month. But first of all, let me say that this is the OhioRAAM show coming to you from Southwest Ohio, sponsored by the Race Across America time stations at Oxford, Ohio, and Blanchester, Ohio, time stations 41 and 42. The wonderful people who operate these stations have them open 24 hours a day during the race. There's 24-hour food, 24-hour fuel, and 24-hour fans. So whether you come by at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the morning during the race, there'll be somebody there to help you, support you, take care of your needs. We have a great time doing this, and we enjoy it a lot. Great place for fans as well. If you're new to the Race Across America or just getting to understand what this might be going, it's a great place to come and learn about the race because there'll be people there who can explain to you the current status, where the racers are, when to expect them, and explain to you some of the rules and other things that make this race happen. So both of these time stations are located at the McDonald's in Oxford and Blanchester, Ohio, and we're there 24 hours a day during the race, as we said. The race this year starts on the 14th of June in Oceanside, California, and the solo racers and the Race Across the West racers, who don't get as far as Ohio, of course, start on that day. The teams start on the 18th of June, 4 days later, which means that by the time the solo riders get to Ohio, the team racers are catching up with them. So we have a lot of people coming through in a short period of time, and our time stations will open on the 21st of June, Tuesday the 21st, and be open through Saturday the 25th. Sometimes we'll have a solo racer who is out ahead of everybody, and they might be through a little earlier than that. The time station will open up for them, but our 24-hour operations begin on Tuesday the 21st through Saturday the 25th. Put that on your calendars and come out and enjoy us. That said, I'm Lee Kreider, the host of this show. And as I said before, this is the first of 3 shows coming to you from India. Ultracycling has been growing by leaps and bounds in India. And we're going to have just a very few of the people who are a part of that growth during this month of India. The OhioRAAM show airs 3 times a month on the 7th, the 17th, and the 27th of each month. They're available online, as you probably are seeing right now, and you can find them always at the OhioRAAMshow.com, where all the shows we have are archived. That said, we're going to go over and greet the Mahjan brothers, the first people to have completed the Race Across America from India, and we're happy to bring them on board.
And so we're going over to India, where I'm keeping these 2 gentlemen up very late in India because of the time difference. And we have with us here Hitendra Mahendra and his brother Mahendra Mahajan. Did I get those names right, fellas?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, and we have them on the show because they were the very first Indians to complete the Race Across America. There's been several attempts, but they finally finished it as a 2-person team. And we're just happy to have you guys on the show tonight and take time to be with us because I know it's very late there and you're staying up just to talk to me, and I appreciate that a great deal. I appreciate that great deal. So introduce yourselves to our audience here. Hitendra, tell me a little about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Dr. Hitendra Mahajan. I'm anesthesiologist by profession, and I love adventure sports. Before coming to cycling, I was into marathon running, trekking, mountaineering, rock climbing, and then I do a little bit of glider flying as well, and love to row on the river.
Okay, very good. And Mahendra, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Mahendra Mahajan. I'm dentist by profession. I've been practicing dentistry from past 12 years. And I'm too like my brother. I'm doing a lot of mountaineering, trekking, as well as marathon running and cycling. From cycling is we started basically some 4 to 5 years back as a leisure cyclist. Yeah. And slowly the passion progressed to endurance cycling, and now just few months back RAM. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the endurance events you've been involved in, Mahendra?
Yeah, in 2012, both of us participated in a race called as Tour of the Dragon, which is also called as Death Race, which is held in Bhutan, which is said to be a toughest single-day mountain bike race in the world. And both of us managed to finish the race. So that was the first endurance event which we enrolled into, and basically 16 hours are given to complete that race, and we managed to complete that race. And before that, we practiced for say 4 months before Tour of the Dragon, and the aim was just to go on pedaling for say 10 to 12 hours. That was the only aim when we practiced for it. And after 2012, after this Tour of the Dragon, we started doing breves, randonneering that is, and we did the SR series 2 to 3 times. We did 600 BRM as well. Later in early 2014, we participated in the qualifier race, the RAM qualifier race called Deccan Cliffhanger, which is held in Pune. That was in Feb 2014, and immediately 15 days after that, we even completed a 1,000-kilometer breve in India, which was conducted from Delhi to Wagah border and back to Delhi in say around 61 hours or so. These were the endurance events which we participated before attempting RAM.
Okay, and Mahendra, what do you have to add to anything you've been involved in? Oh, I'm sorry, Hitendra. I got you mixed up. Hitendra, what have you got to add to this? I'm sorry.
We are real brothers. We are staying in the same house, and so most of the activities we do together. And whatever just now Mahendra mentioned regarding a Tour of the Dragon, that is Death Race in Bhutan, and then followed by Breve, and then followed by Deccan Cliffhanger, that is a RAM qualifier. While doing Breve, we got introduced to Deccan Cliffhanger race, which is RAM qualifier. Till that time, frankly speaking, we were not aware about RAM race as such. And when Deccan Cliffhanger organizers told us that this is going to be a RAM qualifier, then we came back home and we saw about the RAM. And then initially our first impression was this is something beyond our imagination. We will not be able to do that. And we conveyed to the Deccan Cliffhanger organizers that there's no point in doing qualifying, as we will never be able to go to USA and do the race across America. But then they insisted us, we participated, we got qualified, and then from there we started visualizing the dream of completing RAM as a team of 2 and to become a first Indian to do so.
Well, you certainly were, and we were watching that with great interest. We're always happy when we have a record like that. And according to my book here, it says that you completed the 3,000, what was it? I forget how many miles, 3,000 plus this year in, it says 8 days, 14 hours, and 55 minutes. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
And I'll bet you, as long as you live, you will never forget that number.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's engraved.
It certainly is. Well, I just have to say, as an aside, my son, my youngest son, who lives in California, just got back from India. He was there on a business trip. He works for a tech company in Silicon Valley. Sent back some gorgeous pictures. He himself
Okay.
is a marathon runner, and actually he does these mountain trails, these 50K things and stuff like that. And he
Good.
does a lot of mountain climbing as well. And I think he got further enough north, I don't know exactly where he was at, to get a gander at some mountains. And I believe maybe his appetite was whetted a bit.
Which part of the country he was in?
That I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I know he was much taken by the beauty of some of your country.
Yeah, because India is full of mountains. Like in north, we are having Himalaya. In center, we are having Sahyadri range of mountains, and then in south, we are having Nilgiris.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your race. How did it go for you? What can you give us a little scenario of how the race went for you? Did it go as expected? What did you find that surprised you?
Initially.
Yeah, we were preparing ourselves to finish the race in less than 7 days. That was our, and depending on that target, we were preparing ourselves, and we were quite sure about doing it. But the thing which unexpected for us was the initial hit which was there in the Arizona, and which was immediately followed by a thunderstorm when we entered Missouri. That was something which made us to stop 2 times 3 hours, because the visibility was less than 3 meters. We got caught in the thunderstorm over there at the Washington, and then last 3 days it was continuously raining when we entered Appalachian Mountains. It was foggy, and we started developing hypothermia basically, and that was more troublesome because while descent, because hypothermia, we were not able to concentrate ourselves on braking, and so that's why we were not able to take the advantage of a descent. And because of that, I think it took us one day more, 24 hours more than what we expected.
Well, this was an unusual year weather-wise, both in terms of the extreme heat. I think it was higher than I've ever seen it, and and then of course that horrible rain. You said you started in Missouri, and it kind of followed you all the way the rest of the way across the country, didn't it?
Apart from this, what was difficult part was on the third day itself, when we were in Utah, Hitendra had a very bad fall and all bruises, and even his two of his nail from his finger, they were almost out, and he was badly bruised. So that was also one of the
Sort of a jolt for us.
Yeah, jolt.
Setback, because we wanted to catch that first cutoff line at Durango, and in doing so, in a hurriness on one of the descent, I lost the control on my bike and I had a bad fall, but fortunately there was no fracture. And another advantage was there were a lot of doctors in our team as a crew member, so they could fix my nail which came out. And then after that, then there was not much issue except the continuous rain and hypothermia which we were developing, because we are not used to that kind of cold, here in India.
Well, the one thing we can say about the race across America, we can provide just about any kind of weather you can imagine. We've even had some snow on occasion, but you didn't get that this time around. You mentioned the doctors on your team, and I remember looking at your team lineup, and I think they were just about all doctors, were they not?
Yes.
There were only 3 non-medicos, among the 12.
Yeah, basically we are from college, we are together, we are into adventure sports, trekking and all kind of thing, and so we are having good understanding. and all the friends, they helped us. The moment we decided, we visualized this dream of coming for a RAM. That time all our entire friend circle, they got charged up and they said, come on, let's do it together. And that's how, that was in fact our biggest advantage. We were having no ice crew. They were not into cycling, or they were not into any such kind of races, but then the biggest advantage was they were committed towards us. Their aim was to see to it that Mahajan brothers crosses finish line safely. That was the biggest plus point of our crew.
Well, they did that indeed, and I believe a couple of your crew were from the United States, were they not?
Yeah, one of my friend, is doctor himself, is into Hopkins Institute. He's a radiologist, pediatric neuroradiologist. We were together in BJ Medical College, Pune, and then he joined us because all of us, like, US was new for us. Driving and getting used to the traffic rules and everything was pretty. We were like not that much confident, and one of my friend, Dr. Sachin Gujar.
Well, sorry, everybody, about that little delay. A couple things happened all at once there. My dog started to decide that he didn't like the fact that my wife was outside. He doesn't care for that too much. So we had a little splicing there to do.
Yeah.
But just by way, for those people you know, the phone call that interrupted me there was Lisa Brunkhorst, and I told her I couldn't talk to her right now. Lisa was on Team Oxford Autoimmune this year, and we got some things cooking. I wanted to talk to her. Okay. So
you said,
go ahead.
Have you mentioned Lisa Bronsky?
Yes, Lisa Brunkhorst. She headed up the team Oxford Autoimmune this year, a 4-person mixed team. And they were supporting the cause of autoimmune diseases, of which I may or may not have one, depending on which doctor you talk to. I have sarcoidosis, so some people say it is and some not. But as my pulmonologist said, we know about as much about it today as we did 15 years ago. But anyhow, that's an aside. But mentioning charities, you folks have written in support of a charity, and let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
We tied up with Kalpataru Foundation, an NGO, which is run by our own friend, Dr. Sharad Patil, and the team. We also are the part of a Kalpataru Foundation. So we thought, when we are participating in RAM, we should use this platform to raise charity for the tribal. There are a lot of tribal belts in and around Nasik, from the place where we belong to. And that's why we thought that for every 100 kilometer we pedal, back home in Nasik, our team of Kalpataru Foundation will be performing 5 cataract surgeries and 1 corneal transplant free of cost for the tribals here. So our target was to do a total of 288 eye surgeries. But I'm very happy to tell you that the team Kalpataru performed around 370 plus eye surgeries free of cost for the tribals, and we are very happy about it.
So, what type of surgeries?
Out of 370 surgeries, around 300 surgeries were 300 plus surgeries were cataract surgeries.
Okay, cataract surgery.
And there were around 60 to 70 corneal transplant. And these surgeries, they began from the time we participated in the event, and when we
completed the event. Now,
the word tribals, can you? I mean, we know what tribal means, but that apparently has a specific meaning in India. Is that?
Yeah. See, it is in India, we call them Adivasi people, those who are habited in the jungle area. And being a doctor, whatever we perform or whatever we try to do, It's always this thing that we try to give back to the society something in one or the other way. And under Kalpataru Foundation, we always go in a jungle area for these Adivasi peoples, and we conduct camps for them, medical camp for them. And basically that's how our cycling also started. Like during one of the visit to the camp, we decided not to go by car and go by bicycle, and that's how we started developing the liking for cycling. And that's how we decided that let's take their cause for this event, race across America. And that's how we involved all these tribal people into our race.
Basically, the tribal region around Nasik and the adjacent part of Gujarat, this is very it is well away from civilization, or they are not much, they are underprivileged. They lack facilities, even as of primary schools or healthcare centers. So Kalpataru Foundation is giving them education and basic, primary healthcare needs.
Yeah.
So it's a very unserved area. And just to reiterate, during this event, they were able to accomplish about 370 surgeries. Is that the number I got?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is this an ongoing program? Does it continue on?
Yes, this is ongoing program for years together. We are doing it, but it is like a spread over the year. And this time, what we did is we tried to concentrate it so as to have a boost for the race across America. So even if our race is finished, but this work is ongoing process.
I have your Facebook page and so forth, but does this? Do you have a website specifically for this, and any place where people can learn more about it or even make a donation?
Yeah, kalpatarufoundation.com. That is kalpatarufoundation.com.
Okay, I'll get that, and we'll have that put up here on the website where you can see it.
That'd be great.
And also, those of you who are watching the show on the OhioRAAMshow.com, which you see right below me there, I'll have a link right below this video, and you can click on it, and you can learn more about this very significant problem, because I think everybody who has had a cataract, I being one of them, and have had the surgery, it's a miracle, doctors. Cataract surgery is an absolute miracle. I don't know how else to describe it, because I'm having poor vision in the morning, and in the afternoon when they take the patch off. My goodness, there's a world out there. Wonderful.
Second vision, like.
Yeah, actually, when I was in training for I did some work in the hospital, and this was many, many years ago, gentlemen. And in those days, I happened to have a reason to visit the ward where they did cataract surgery, and they had to lay with sandbags on the side of their head for days on end. I don't know how long it was. And I just got up and walked out.
Yeah, there's a lot of improvement has taken place in the ophthalmology field, and nowadays the cataract surgery is a matter of few minutes. Like,
yep, that I don't think it took me very long, and they said, "Okay, you can come back this afternoon. We're going to see how well you can see." It was quite wonderful, and it must be quite satisfying to have accomplished that.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful to have you guys here on the show, and we contacted you a number of months ago, and then things kind of drifted away, and we're glad to get you back here. But any future cycling adventures in your future?
There are a lot of things. Basically, not only into cycling, but because we like to keep on changing so as to have encouragement and motivation. So something we are planning for cycling as well. We are trying to attempt circumventing the earth on a bicycle, both of us together. And that is something which we are planning in 2017 or 2018, because we'll require a lot of not only finances but time to take out from our profession, and then logistic planning and diplomatic help and all these things. So that is our next target. Let's see how it goes.
Okay. Unfortunately, your signal broke up just a bit when you told me what you were planning to do there right before you said the date. Well,
We are planning to circumvent the earth on bicycle as an ambassador of peace from India.
Just maybe the show right before this, we have Juliana Birhing, who has the women's world record, and I believe she's going to be in RAAM 2016, and her crew chief comes from India, and you probably know her name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But well, listen, you've got to, you'll probably be posting on Facebook and other places, won't you, about your adventure when it comes time?
Correct.
That sounds really exciting. We wish you the best on that, and we'll be following you very closely. And before we close off here, the clock's running down a little bit. Let's ask you anything else you'd like to share with us before we leave?
Yeah, we look forward to have more and more participation in such kind of races from India. I mean to say successful participation, and our completion has definitely opened up the plethora, broken the ice, and let's see. Apart from our aim is not only to propagate cycling as a sports, but cycling as a basic commuting as well in India, where we are facing a lot of problem of pollution. So that's why our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the photo which you are having, he has also shown a faith on the youth, and we are trying to propagate so that we can do something for our green earth and green revolution.
And I forgot to mention, you just had a meeting with the Prime Minister recently, did you not?
Yeah, we had a meeting, great meeting.
And we have a wonderful picture of that, and we'll show it right here.
Yes, our Prime Minister is very enthusiastic and energetic, and he has got a lot of faith on youth. And as we are looking forward for India becoming a powerful nation in future with a lot of youth, so we want to pass on a message of taking care of pollution and other things as well, so that we can give a better earth to our next generation.
Well, ultra cycling has certainly been growing in India, as I've observed from the time when I forget who it was. He had to actually construct a qualifying event. There wasn't any, and now I think you have several. Do you not?
Please come again.
I believe you have more than one qualifying event for RAAM in India now. Do you not?
Yes, at present at 3 places we are having qualifying round for a RAAM in India.
Well, good, and we hope to see more people from your country in the race across America, and we see more records, and we'll be watching your circumnavigation. That it just sounds so exciting, and I learned quite a bit about it when we had Juliana on the show, how you determine it and what have you. But that's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show, and we wish you all the best, and we hope that your work with Team India and the Vision for Tribals continues to have great success. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thanks
a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's the first of 3 shows coming to you from India, guests from India. We're happy to have them. We're happy to give some recognition and support to what's happening in that nation, a nation that seems to be on the verge of some real significant growth. And we wish those who are part of the cycling community there to share in that growth and become a very real part of the whole ultra cycling community. It is truly a worldwide sport. We are a worldwide family, as some of you have found out during times of stress and difficulty, and certainly I have as well. Thank you for watching the OhioRAAM Show. As I said, you can see all the shows on the website, OhioRAAMshow.com. Also, we would hope that while you're there, you might leave us a comment. If you would like to get notifications of future shows, there's a place there you can leave your email address. That won't go to anybody else. We thank you for your support. We thank you for those of you who support us on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. We particularly like shares because that spreads the word of the show around further. And we also like likes and comments there as well. Because the only reason for this show is to make the wonderful sport of ultra cycling known to more people. And when you support it, you make that happen. Thank you again. Thank you guys for being with us from India. We look forward to seeing more Indians in our races here in the United States in the future. And with that, we'll say good night.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.